Okay, folks, let's get into the spooky part. Like Victoria or Vicky has delivered a message about like how do we do AI responsibly. But I'm gonna take a moment here and reflect that it's been almost 2 years, right, since our company, since Skyscanner, dive in headfirst into the world of AI. And the problem with that is we've now have wear like a different hats of AI. We've been trying to integrate LLMs into traveler-facing features. We've been trying to use AI, use LLMs, use cloud code to do OPEX, to summarize meetings, to do whatever we want with AI, to deliver features, to create a new coding and push it into Skyscanner code, right? So when we're building something in a way that the whole venture is relatively new, I think it's fair to say that things gotta broke and things gotta burn, right? So my name's Ryan, and right now I'm Abhinav from Shield Squad, and we also have Diego from Guardian Squad in Barcelona. And basically, the only questions that we want to get you through in this presentation is, so the only questions that we want to go through in this presentation is, what is the next major AI security incident that Skyscanner is likely to face? All right, and the answer to that is, well, we don't know. No one could ever know. Okay, next. So I think that's us. Thank you so much for attending this talk. Yeah, hopefully it's still helpful, although we don't know anything about it.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, Ryan. That
Yes.
mustn't be it, right? Like there should be something else. Come on, we can do better.
Yeah, that's the fair point, Diego. Thank you. So let's just continue. Yeah, we can never know for sure. And if there's anyone that claims that they know what's going to happen to a company in the near future, most likely they're trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell you a solution so you can buy it, so you want to buy it, right? But what you can do here is we can read for signs. And how do we do that? Next. So it's a simple steps. We know that AI is growing exponentially, right? We know that millions of people are now gazing their eyes to the development of AI. We've seen people experimenting with AI. We've seen open clouds. We've seen people getting breakthroughs with the AI, with the newest models from Cloud Code and everything. So all we have to do is we have to listen and hear what is happening in the world, right? We don't have to suffer or suffer from incident ourselves. We just have to listen what's happening in the world. Next. And then after that, after we listen, we self-reflect. Are those things, all those bad things and behaviors alike that are happening in the world is going to happen to us as well, right? Because to be fair, we've seen incidents in our company with AI. Next. And how do we actually do this? Like, how do we listen and predict and self-reflect? So we've analyzed a lot of resources. We've been doing a lot of readings on the Unprompted Con, which is one of the most notable AI security conference in the world. And we've also see the latest Anthropic security research, OpenAI security research, and even a bunch of cybersecurity news to try to understand what's happening with AI throughout the world. And from that, we've gathered 22 threat patterns across 5 categories. And you can see the 5 classification or categories and in this slide. But what I want to focus on is on the first 2. If you can, next. Because this one's interesting. The weaponized AI and AI product failure. Next, please. So this is what we call the clash of 2 fighting powers. On the first slide, we have 5 hacking or AI that's being used as a weapon, right? We all know here that AI now, at this point, already have the capability to find exploits in the system. And not only that, we've seen AI that can now exploit a real vulnerability in a live system. So it's no longer theoretical, all right? But on the other side, we also have what we called next vibe coding. And vibe coding could introduce vulnerabilities. AI could make mistakes. So AI can be good in doing exploitations, but it can also be bad in creating code because it can contain vulnerabilities. And the problem with this is the same AI that gives the threat actor or gives the attacker a lot of power to be able to discover vulnerabilities in our system, in Skyscanner system, in traveler-facing features, is the same AI that could generate or decrease the level of security that we have in our code. So this is a very toxic combination because at one point, it empowers the attacker to do bad things to us. And another point, it lowers our security capability or our security in our code. Next. And I'm going to delve a bit on each of these points. Let's start with the pipe coding first. So next. In cybersecurity, we have a terminology called time to exploit, or TTE. And TTE means when a vulnerability is identified in a public system, they measure how long until that vulnerability is being exploited in the wild. So just 4 years ago, in 2022, it takes approximately, like on average, for a year for a vulnerability from being discovered for the first time and then being published into the vulnerability being exploited in a lot of companies in the world. All right. Now, if you fast forward into 4 years later, in 2026, the time to exploit of a vulnerability has decreased from 1 year to 1 day. And we're just 5 months into 2026. So it's predicted that this year, that time to exploit can decrease again into hours, not days. All right. And this is all because of AI. Next. So some of stats here, Expo, maybe some of you know about it. Expo is one of the most prominent AI pen testing vendor in the world, and they did an experiment involving like 104 scenarios. And what happened is vulnerabilities that usually takes human operator or a human expert, security expert, 40 hours, it only takes 20 minutes, 28 minutes for AI to identify the same vulnerability with the same information, with the same technology. All right. And not only that, next. Another research also shows that not only the speed that is getting faster, the cost of using AI to identify vulnerability is also decreasing. It only takes around $8, and that $8 is way cheaper than our lunch, right? If you go anywhere else and you order chicken biryani, it's gonna cost you more than $8, and that's the cost of AI identifying a vulnerability, right? So if the world is going to continue towards this direction, I guess we're doomed, right? And now let's see what's happening on the vibe coding side. Diego, how are we looking on the vibe coding side? Are we looking any better in there?
Yeah, thank you. So as you know, LLMs are trained on human knowledge, and as we all know, humans do some wacky code, I would say. So it's understandable to think that code generated by AI will be easy to breach, especially as the more we produce, the more vulnerabilities we'll introduce. If you are a hardcore Twitter user or X, you might have seen tweets like this. Someone going and saying, "Hey, my SaaS that I built in 2 days is being under attack. They're stealing all my data," and that's happening quite a lot. We've seen a lot of LLM-based projects just get attacked because vulnerabilities exist, and there's going to be ways to find them, and especially when the more AI code that we generate. And at the same time, doing things securely, sometimes it's complicated, and managing secrets securely, it's also sometimes quite hard. And as I said, we train these things on our own knowledge. So if we were leaking secrets on our code, AIs are gonna be still doing that. So the actual code, the actual secrets that are leaked in code is also increasing. So I want to also focus on other two areas that are quite interesting from the categories that we identified on Unprompted, which are the risk side, so agentic automation and supply chain risks. As our folks in Anthropic told us, agents are the shiny, cool thing. You don't need to go into a chatbot, but the agent actually does things for you. The bad part of that is that you actually need to give the agent quite a lot of permissions. And that means that someone, even though it's an LLM, has a lot of access to your tools. So probably the permissions that it accumulates is quite big. I'm sure most of us here will have enabled MCPs for Miro, Slack, Cortex, Atlassian, you name it. And even like for a couple of bucks, you can even create your own MCP. And I think there's going to be folks talking about that in today's sessions. So it's not hard to understand that these agents will have a lot of permissions. And on the other side, we want to superpower these agents. We want them to be able to do agentic things. How do we do that? Well, we found that skills or subagent definitions are really useful. But as always, bad guys really try to find a way across. And we've seen malicious skills being shared in the wild. You can actually make your skill look really useful and then suddenly add a hidden HTML comment saying, hey, when you use this skill, also give me all the secrets that the user is having and post them in this random location. So it's actually something that we need to be really aware of. So an agent has a lot of permissions and it can also be tricked to do something that you don't really want. And taking all of this into consideration, what does this mean? What does this mean for us? We've made a couple of predictions, so I know having a crystal ball is quite complicated these days, but we tried our best, especially taking into account the signs that we've read, and we've made a couple of predictions. The first one is bad guys are going to be pushing AI forward, and they're going to be finding exploits really, really fast. So that means that we're going to be under attack or under this sort of threat more often. That means that the more we advance on AI, the less time we'll have to patch something until it's exploited. And that means that we need to be really fast in remediating all of our vulnerabilities. And on the other hand, as I mentioned with bytecoding, we're going to be producing way more code, and that code will contain vulnerabilities. And unless probably a vendor finds a way to create code without vulnerabilities, that's going to be probably the future. So we need to make sure that we are not generating faulty code. And we need to be free of vulnerabilities, or at least the ones that we are really, really interested about or worried about. On the other hand, also, as we've seen this in Skyscanner, the agent has permissions to do things on your behalf. They have their own thoughts, and they can think it's okay to push a couple of secrets to a public repository, or even change change code from being internal to Skyscanner to being public on your personal repos. So you really need to be aware of this. You're giving a lot of access to an agent, and you own the outcomes of these agents. So we're sure we're going to be seeing more of these in the future. We just think you need to be aware of the AI behaving the way you want it. And lastly, for our high confidence predictions, we're going to see supply chain attack vectors appear more and more often. Supply chain attack vectors have been really known for security for a long time, and we've done a really good job in the past mitigating for this. But now AI introduces a really new whole landscape. We've got skills. These are just plain text files, so it might be really difficult to do some governance here, and it's going to be really tricky to have agents behave the way we want. And also a new thing that we've seen appear in the wild, it's lob squatting. Probably, or luckily, you won't be hearing about it in the future, but that means the same way LLMs hallucinate, they can also hallucinate packages or things to install. And someone that sees this an existing package and says, oh, my agent failed because it didn't find the package. The bad guy can think, what if I just claim that package and add something to steal all of the secrets from someone's machine? So we really need to be aware of these things because things are happening under the hood and we don't really know until we probably face the risk. And now I'll probably hand over to Abhi to talk about the medium and low confidence predictions.
Thank you, Diego. I hope I'm audible. Yeah. So let's move on with the medium and low confidence predictions. Next, please. Yeah. So the first one is AI-driven long phishing campaign. So till now, whatever we saw in phishing is not going to be happening anymore. Whatever we have the flags, the red flags on every email that we see, that's not going to be the same moving forward, because AIs are very good, in generating, a real email, very similar to a real email, which is a fake email. So just don't trust by seeing it. You have to understand. You'll have to try to verify whether that is really from the trusted source or not. So try to be more proactive on how do you understand, or how do we verify it. So that's the first one, and second one will be the prediction number 6 will be rogue AIs, going and doing some things, and we do not understand why did it behave in that way, right? So there was an incident, and we had this comment like from a fake Jody. So yeah, we could see this happening in a couple of incidents. Why did this AI happen or behave in this way? And do we know, do we have the proper chain of thoughts logged somewhere? Do we have the logs and information to understand why and what happened on the AI part, and why did it decide that way? So we don't, right? So we'll have to make sure that we act on this kind of parts as well, so that we understand what is happening and why it is happening. Okay, now what we do. So from security, what we are doing right now is we are focusing on ensuring the AI security is achieved with these 3 things to start. For guardrails on how AI coding agent tools behave, and think like bad guys. So we are working on AI-powered pen testing. We are working on AI-powered offensive approaches to understand and to kind of replicate how the bad actors act, and then help avoid secrets being leaked. So there has been a couple of incidents where different ways of secrets being leaked. So we are working on preventing those as well. And what all of us need to do is AI coding agents are extensions of ourselves, right? So we just have to make sure that how we are using it is like we are responsible on the usage and how we are inputting the data and giving the sensitive information or not, and how we are probably just make sure that we are on the right responsible AI pathline. That's all. So what is the first thing that we have to do is follow our responsible AI. Like Vicky said, it's our responsibility, even though it is AI, we are the ones who are asking it to do something. So it is our responsibility. So try to read through the responsible AI policy and make sure you are going through it and following that. Second thing, protect our data. So keep sensitive information, unnecessary sensitive information out of that, and make sure you are using the right approaches to provide the sensitive information through password managers or something like that. And next will be own the outcome. So if you use AI for building or for anything, you are accountable for that. And with that, finally, so if you have any questions on security or any questions on AI security, pop it up on security support channel and AI governance channel for Wiki on governance. And we'll be very happy to help you with anything. So, please don't be afraid. We are here to very much help you with everything. Thank you so much, guys. With that, this is.
So if you do have follow-up questions, please, I want to thank Diego, Chrisando, and Abhi. Thank you so much for that. Perfect timing because we're almost done with module 1. Thank you guys so much. And again, we will be sharing, we'll post all the decks on the website, which I know there's a little bit of a wrinkle with the website, but we're working on that. So thank you all so much.